What is up, all of you nerdy people on the internet? My name is Josh. Thanks for being here for bonus stage. We are doing a Let's Listen tonight for our friend J. Kim, Ronin Op F. How's it going tonight, man?
It's been a little bit of a wild one. For me right now, it's like mid morning, late morning, so I'm like a little gr- grouchy. No, I'm not grouchy.
You're a little gratchy. I'm feeling pretty wonky.
I'm a little loopy. There we go. That's
You're
the
a
right
little
one.
loopy. Oh
Yeah,
my god, you must be experiencing some jet lag or something, man, because you're all the way from Korea today.
yeah. I had some. This trip got planned kind of last minute for a couple of reasons, and like things coincided where like we had to schedule this show for like this time slot, and it's a good time slot for both of us actually. But like, yeah, it kind of yeah, all that, you mix this in a bowl and you get mashed potatoes. I don't know.
You get a grouchy brain from from Jay in the morning. Oh my god. Well, I'm glad you were able to make it work. And full disclosure, folks, if Jay like drops off for any reason, he is coming to us from Korea, so we'll just roll with it. But yeah, we're here to celebrate your release of Link's Restless Awakening, this wonderful remix, reimagining, playing like a mix of violin, which you're known for, but also some fresh like remixes and like a hip hop lo-fi kind of approach to some of these tracks. And I've listened through a good chunk of it. I'm saving some for tonight to keep it
Oh,
a
I'm glad
little
to hear
fresh.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, I really love it so far. I love the sounds that you've created and the songs that you've chosen. Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about why you wanted to put this album together?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Josh. Yeah, thanks for putting this together. I'm glad we could make this happen. Um yeah, so it started on January 1st of this year. Almost literally. I just knew that this year would be like the 25th and 30th anniversary of like, multiple links of like cuz they released like the deluxe version and the original version. But I knew it'd be like the 25th and 30th anniversary this year. So I was like, I think it's time to like, make an album out of this, and it's also a game that like was a big part of my childhood. Like it's like one of the games I actually do remember playing through as a kid, and not very many other games. Like I know there was Magi Nation, if and I have no idea if anybody remembers that. And then there's also Kirby's Pinball, which I didn't play that much of. So those are like the three games I kind of like definitively remember from back like that far back. But yeah, like I've also been in the video game music scene. I was actually in it through OC Remix kind of while I was in middle school. I didn't get a lot done
Wow.
during that time, but I kind of came back in 2017, and like thinking about this in 2023, I felt like it was a real good time to like try and tackle this. Now I didn't anticipate being this busy and having like a lot of other things going on in my life while I was making this, but I think it worked out okay, and I'm glad. I'm also glad it's done, but I'm glad I actually like did it this year at this time, in this moment of like time and space.
Hmm.
So yeah, like it was a culmination of like trying to figure out. I mean, putting my instrumental skills to good use, violin most prominently, of course,
Yep.
but also like all my production skills, my breakbeat production skills in particular,
Mm.
and just seeing kind of what we come out with, and also to kind of like shine a light on some of the more obscure parts of the soundtrack that don't get covered as often either. Um, and to put that all in a little package, a little box, and put a little gift wrap on it and call it a day.
Nice, nice. A New Year's resolution turned into a Christmas gift for the anniversary of the for two anniversaries. That's cool that it was like 25 and 30
Yeah,
years. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I
So
remember.
I think it was yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say I remember playing Link's Awakening. I remember the first one, which I got to kind of like scratch the surface with. But then the DX version came out, and I had borrowed my friend's Game Boy Color, and that was like the
Ooh.
first Link's anything game that I had played through on my own.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, not like sitting over the shoulder at your friend's house watching him hog
Yeah.
the controller on Ocarina of Time or anything. So yeah, so like the soundtrack and the game mean a lot to me as well. You know, very formative in my gaming years. I am lucky to have experienced a few other games, not just 3 or anything. But yeah, this one definitely stood out, and I really loved the Nintendo Switch remake that came out
Yes.
a few years ago as well.
I'll recommend it if you haven't played any Link's Awakening, go for the Switch remake. It's great. It's well done, and it's like it's such a great like updated reimagining of like what they kind of couldn't do back then, but like really brought it. And the soundtrack is so good. And it's a lot of like such good arrangements and of the original soundtrack, and then there's a couple new soundtrack or new tracks added to the soundtrack for specific parts of it that like just didn't have music or wasn't even in that game earlier, and I covered a little bit of that too. So
yeah, you did. I love that you've got it the chamber dungeon edit mode.
Yes, that's just a random pick in that list, but I'm like, this it's a bop. Like I love that track.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god. Well, I mean, if we are all happy with that, I would love to give folks the first listen on Let's Listen here tonight. If you're all ready, Jay.
Oh yeah, I'd let's do it.
All right, folks, we're going to listen to the first 3 tracks on this album. Link's Restless Awakening. We're starting with Waking Up at Terran's House, Owl, and the shop theme for both items and Witch. Jay, let's
listen.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 1.
Oh, hold on. There we go. We've got Jay. Awesome. Yeah, love the vibe here, Ian. Oh my god, what a fun little start. I love your take on waking up at Taryn's house. So peaceful, so beautiful, so rich, and then Owl and Shop just kind of like bump it up a little bit. You got
Yeah,
lots
yeah.
of fun in there.
Yeah,
But
thank
we were
you.
we were talking backstage a little bit about what you've been up to, and you mentioned that you kind of feel like you need to purge this project from your mind a little bit because, well, and you started at the beginning of the year. You said you lost count of the hours that you've put into it, and you have done everything that people are hearing completely on your own. Yeah, dude. Um, but there was a question in there, I swear. Take it away, Jay.
Yeah, sure. I could talk a little bit about kind of, yeah. I kind of just I was thinking about having collaborators on, kind of think about like, oh, how do I want to actually make this like over the course of actually making the whole thing. Um, but my schedule kept getting a little screwy, like kind of throughout the whole year. So I was like, you know what, let's just try. And it kind of just led me to thinking like, let's just try making the whole thing myself and just kind of seeing how far I can get, really. And boy, we hit that deadline mark very close. But I like how it turned out. I honestly surprised myself too. Um, like amongst the tracks that we kind of already listened or just listened to, like all three of those, I didn't have too good of an idea of like how it exactly should sound, like, second by second. It they all were like very iterative of like, okay, this is like, I have like the base, transcription of the piece, and like I know kind of like the chords and like all the notes and stuff, and like and then it was a lot of figuring out just like, well, if I move this section here, if I make a twist on this section and put this together. And there's a lot of that, especially with Owl. Owl is kind of crazy. It's one of my favorite tracks I made because like it's pretty intricate. I think it came together pretty well. And especially since it was pretty inspired by the Yoko Kanno's like Ghost in the Shell soundtracks. Like they're definitely out, like the little like vocal fragments. I feel like such a genius putting that in because I'm like, oh yeah, part of, and then it's like it's and the owls also always speak in kind of like coded, in like kind of like riddly language to you, right? Like, so it's like it's kind of cool to be like, oh, what are they actually saying? Like, what are the vocal fragments saying? That they are just fragments; they're not actual words. Like,
Okay.
let me put that out there. Do not like this is not an ARG. You don't have to go on the hunt for some treasure I buried somewhere.
Subliminal messaging. No, it's just Animal Crossing gobbledygook.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just like, it just sounds cool, and I patterned it in a way that I thought sounded cool to me, and that's what's in there. But that's like where that came from. And the Ghost in the Shell soundtrack also does that too, and it has a lot of like vocal fragments in different parts of it, and it's really cool. And it's like same for the shop theme almost, where I'm just like, what are these shops really here for in Zelda? And I was like, oh, it'd be funny just to have like digits being said aloud. And it turns out I had that in a sample pack, and I'm like, this is super funny. So and I was like, okay, I want it to be rhythmic. So when I was when I was specifically working on that part of like the digits, putting in the digits for the shop theme, I'm just like, oh, you know what? Let's make this like really random and weird. I literally closed my eyes, sat down at like a text editor, and I was just like, I'm just gonna press random numbers alongside me playing my track, and I'm like, that's what's gonna. And I edited it a little bit just to make it like smooth, but otherwise, it's basically random, which is super funny to me. And the part where it's like 1 1 1 1, I was just like, I kind of just wanted to sound like literally like a broken like repeating robot in a sense. I just thought that was like funny to me, and so that's why that's in there.
And it's very scratch and very hip hop as well. Just repeat the sample a couple times, right?
Yeah,
Drive it home, yeah. And I say that knowing, of course, that you have done some hip hop DJing and etc. I got to catch you doing the what was it, the Jet Set Radio
Yes.
set that you did, not this past Mag West, but the Mag West before that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I imagine that you draw on a lot of those skills to put together all of the other non-live components of this album.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super fascinated, and like all the Jet Set Radio type stuff is some of my favorite music of all time. And I've been really trying to understand how to make that but also with the provision of doing it through my own voice, which is super difficult. That music is already super difficult to make. If you really dissect it, it's wild kind of how difficult it is. But I'm trying to get there, and like you definitely learn a lot picking apart that kind of stuff. So that's definitely gone into like how I've built some of this album for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. And then in terms of like the sounds that you're using, is that just largely you've got some instrument packs? Are you like saying, oh, I need this sample that was used on this song? Any subliminal references in your sampling or anything like that?
Nothing subliminal. Wink. Yeah, no, I just like, I mean, maybe it's like the convenience of music making in the modern era, but I do like my sample packs, and I definitely try to go hunt down things that are a little bit more obscure, that still sound good. And I'm just like, yeah, it's cool to just kind of be able to have in our year of our Lord 2023. I just decided to say that. Yeah, this is cool to have like kind of all these sounds available, all these different presets. Like there's so many like supplemental tools and stuff available to us nowadays as musicians. And there's a lot of people making cool stuff too. So yeah, it's a payoff of like having had that kind of like collector, been a bit of a like shopper and collector of like sample packs, kind of over time. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Putting all the greatest hits together for Link's Restless Awakening. Oh, man. Well, yeah. Speaking of putting things together, you have put together some beautiful cover art to accompany this release as well.
Yeah.
I love the vibe that's on this, just like using a lot of common elements in the games, but also giving it that kind of like construction paper look and feel. Can I ask who is the incredible artist that put this together?
Yeah, it's my friend Rolly Lomi, ROLILOMI, on pretty much all. Yeah, I think they use that same username on all the accounts. Yeah, they're a friend I met through a local orchestra I play with, and they were on the like design and art departments for that orchestra, and they're like a semi-recent grad basically, and they've been trying to like go into like design and stuff and all that kind of stuff, and they're super talented. Obviously like that art is awesome. Like, I just asked like, yeah, I just kind of like I pass along like the sound drop like like the album art requirements like that they have on there and stuff like that, and now it's like, yeah, I kind of want like this cool stuff on here, kind of being just like a dopey typical client. And yeah, they put together something real quick and real awesome. So yeah, they asked me like, oh, can I play around with like the text and typography? I'm like, oh, absolutely, of course you can. Yeah. And all I really did was like kind of like nudge like maybe once or twice, like iterating on like what the cover looks like, and give the list of like, oh, what different items do we want to put on the front. That was about it. Like they've nailed my style like down. It was crazy. Yeah, it really didn't take that much time at all, at least that I could tell.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of like talented artists out there. Them I found through my orchestra, which is not typical. I actually go to a decent amount of like conventions and stuff, and that's typically where I'll actually meet new artists is through like artist alleys and stuff like that. I know there's this one artist who I only chatted with in person there, but their art was all inspired by like early Final Fantasy, particularly like Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm like, this is insane. Like this is so good. And like you're just like making this shit because you were inspired by Tactics. And I'm like, oh, there's got to be a bajillion like of us in our scene who would want to hire this person because they've like nailed that style so well. And so I've been just kind of like looking around, making connections with different artists, and just being like, man, I'd like if I know of a project that like will like sync up right with you, like I'm going to forward your name along like instantly. So I've been trying to build that up and like, you know, find out who's chill and not chill as well, and be like, let's stick with the good people here.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like kind of like take note of what kind of styles people specialize in and see how much I can bank on that, basically.
Nice. Yeah. Get a little Rolodex going of visual artists. That's cool,
Yeah.
man. Well, nerdy specifically, right? Like people who are going to obviously deliver some incredible work like this. Like what a find. That's amazing. I've found the TikTok for Roly Lomi. If you have any other relevant links, Jay, just pass them to me and I'll get them in chat.
Yeah, they have a card, you know, card.co, you know, CARRD.co. I think that's like their central one, and I think it links to everywhere else. So I'll say like, yeah, just pass along that one, and you'll be good.
Right on. I'll look that up and get that in chat. Well, I mean, I was going to say something clever there, and it completely escaped me. I think my brain's a little gratchy. Sorry, man. I'll let it die after tonight.
Funny.
But we're going to have some fun. We're going to have fun.
Oh, my God.
Here. Oh, man. Well, I'm ready to listen to 3 more tracks on this album, if you are, Jay.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. We are going to listen to Inside a House, Mr. Wright's House, and then Richard's Villa, a very domicile-centric
Dick's house
listening block here.
these are all just different houses.
Yeah. All right, folks. Let's listen to all these different houses. Oh, no, I spoiled it. Jay, let's
listen.
Thank you. Absolutely gorgeous. I think Max hit the nail on the head. This is all very adorable and cozy. Yeah, I mean, that's just how you should feel in someone's house, right? That's we just listened to 3 songs all about houses.
Unless you're burgling that house, yeah, I'd say probably, yeah.
We need some different music for the burgling one, yeah.
Oh
Maybe that shop theme could
the shop theme, yeah. No, I mean, you used to
This is
in the old version, you used to be able to, you know, steal from the shopkeeper, right? And I heard they took that out in the remake, in the Switch remake, the ability to steal from the shopkeep. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah,
Oh man, I missed that
yeah.
part. How did you do? How like was that like a glitch or was it?
No, it was intentional.
Oh,
You can use the Pegasus boots to kind of like go around and because the shopkeeper like intentionally like faces you, right? So there's some way where you can like hold on to an item and then run out with the Pegasus boots out of sight, because otherwise the shopkeeper just like stops you and you're like, oh hey, you should pay for that or put it back or whatever. But the thing is, if you come back into the store again, he'll have like lightning magic and like kill you. and
so
obviously you lose your rupees, and it's like, okay, well,
yeah, you get to do it once, make it worthwhile. I don't know if there is anything worthwhile.
no, not really.
At
It's
that
just a
shop.
really funny thing you can do in that game, in the original game. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, but those are very sweet. You know, I noticed while we were listening, obviously there's a good mix of instruments, and you performed at least a few of them. So, you know, I
Yeah.
know you play violin, obviously. What else did you perform for this album?
Yeah. The pianos and the electric pianos were also me. Um, Depending on which track, the bass was also me. The guitar was also me.
Wow.
I didn't use the bass and guitar as much because I'm not that good at them, and it's like I mean, thankfully the track worked out where it's like, okay, yeah, I can just like, I'm just playing like a little ditty here, and like that's all we all need to hear, like out of this. And we don't need to delve deeper into how bad my guitar skills are. Um, but yeah, I really wanted to not have any substitute instruments at all, as much as I could. So it's just like live instruments, synthesizers, and then like, you know, all the sampled drums and all that kind of stuff. And kind of just like really meld that together as much as I can. Yeah.
No, respect. That's like very commendable to go for as live as possible with just yourself, because that is a lot of
Yeah,
tracking.
thank you.
I can understand why it would have taken almost the entire year to put this together.
It's hard. It's hard. It really made me want to get better at definitely piano and guitar and bass. But the other three instruments that I tracked live, and I was just like, oh, my skills are lacking, because I would like, especially with piano, and because I didn't make any sheet music for this. I was just, it just, I couldn't fit it in my schedule to be like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and make like good sheets for this. And so I would just like, for long segments, I would just like play it back. I'm like, okay, I think I remember how to do it, and then try and practice it. I'm like, okay, I fucked up. I was okay. All right, let's just redo it. So I would do that so much, and I'm like, this would have been so much easier if I was just better at piano.
Oh man. What's the saying? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Invention. Yeah.
So yeah, just you know, come the new year, just commit to doing another ambitious project.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun.
That's going to be real good for your
do.
personal progress. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh my god. I also have to note that the production on this album is really good. Everything is very nicely mixed. It feels dense and well glued together. Is that also you, or did you have any help on the mixing and mastering side of things?
Yeah, no, it's I mixed the whole thing as well. I've been doing a lot more work on my mixing skills in particular, especially like these last 2 years, I would say. And I honestly didn't think it would. It was fairly smooth, relatively speaking. So I was honestly surprised by that too. So that turned out great. And I've been doing a little bit of like hired mixing work as well, just in general. And so I'm like, oh, this is a thing that I'm actually like decent at. So yeah, it's all it. If you have, I think mixing is a very useful skill for, especially for self-producing musicians and just really any musician in general, because it touches on so many different elements on how you wanted to make it sound good. There's like the technical aspects of like, oh yeah, you want to cut out like the ground hum or whatever, or like the low end of you know, reduce the low end, put a shelf on it, you know, make it a little lower and stuff like that to make it fit better. It also teaches you kind of like, oh, what's good recording technique, and how do I make it sound good coming in and so that it or like, you know, shape the sound on the way into this track. And it is also for like blending both like acoustic and digital sources. It helps you kind of understand like, how should I approach, like, you know, making these two sound cohesive and not too out of place with each other, and also like what's the right amount of like technique to like blend these two together, or like all kinds of stuff like that. So I'd say, like, you know, if you're a musician out there, definitely learn a little bit of mixing. I'm not saying you have to, like, you know, be the mixing engineer that everyone calls on, but it's a really useful, just like technical skill in general.
And helps you communicate with those people that you would hire out as well.
Yes.
You know, that would speed up production, no doubt.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally agree.
Right on, man. Well, I'm keen to listen to the last 4 tracks on this very well produced album, dude.
Thank you.
No, honestly, man, this has been a lot of fun so far. I'm really glad that I saved some of the listening part for myself for this party, because
I'm really glad too. Yeah.
Right on. Well, we've got 4 tracks coming up. We've got the Seashell Mansion, we got House by the Cove, Fisherman Under the Bridge, and I want to call it almost like a bonus track, the Chamber Dungeon edit mode. This was one that was exclusively for the recent Switch
version. That's right. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, in that case, why don't we let's
listen.
That is super cute. Oh my god, what a weird little theme. It definitely feels like, you know, whoever stepped in for the Switch remake just kind of like, I'm gonna make something weird and fun for this weird
Yeah.
moment in the game. It's totally functional, but it's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
works.
Ryo Nagamatsu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryo Nagamatsu's been on the Nintendo roster for a while. I think he doesn't work there anymore, but he's done quite a few different things, if I remember right. Like, I think he's done some parts of like Splatoon, and I think even like Animal Crossing too, if I remember right. Yeah, that guy has been like, he's had a little bit of a hand in like different Nintendo games, and just, you know, for this one he just like went nuts and just like did so much cool stuff. And like, yeah, that like the edit mode theme is just like, it's like strangely so fitting for like dungeon editor thing. I don't know if you've messed with that, but like it's it's pretty interesting. But like,
I
it's such
touched
good,
on it a
just like,
little bit in my playthrough. Yeah, it's like
yeah,
you
yeah,
just have all these different rooms that you can lay out.
yeah.
And, yeah,
It's wild. I haven't gone that deep into it, but like, it was crazy to build just like a random dungeon and just be like, what the you know, you just like play through this dungeon? Like, it's so weird. In a cool way, it's very weird. Yeah.
yeah. You go and like collect all the pieces to make the rooms in
Yes.
different parts of your quest.
Different types of rooms. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's super cool. And the Seashell Mansion was another piece that was
Yes.
from the recent
composed
remake
that.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot, but I guess there wasn't a theme in the Seashell Mansion before. And yeah, he came out with this banger. Like, what I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that piece is like really grown on me a lot. And it's really good. And so yeah, I was like, I had to do it. I have to do it. I have this weird idea for it. This weird, like, almost deserty sounding theme version of it. But I'm like, this is so weird, but like, I like it.
Yeah, man, do what you like. I mean, seashells, it evokes sand, right? Yeah.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Oh, it's been so cool listening to this album, listening to your takes on it. You've put a lot of work into doing all of the tracking. As you said, like, this has been kind of like a goal for the whole year, and you managed to get it in just kind of at the last minute.
Yeah.
So congratulations, dude. This is
Yeah,
beautiful
thank you.
work.
The reception has been very surprising and really good. Yeah, I'm shocked that like this many people have already liked it and have even like bought it too, which I'm like, oh, that's new.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Jay. Jay, oh my God. But yeah, there's the link in chat, folks. If any of you also want to go and the link in chat. If you want to go and buy this, it's on sale for $10 US or more. Don't be shy. Don't you know, we got the holidays coming up. Musicians need to afford all you can eats in Korea and stuff like that. They need to feed themselves.
I told Josh about like how the food in general has been cheaper here, so I I bought an all you can eat Korean barbecue because I was hanging out with someone from VV Go actually.
Nice.
And it was an all you can eat for about 35-ish US dollars, which is really good, and it was for two people, and it was really good.
All right, well, I'm gonna book my flight right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So Jay, I know you said earlier that you feel like you need to purge this project from your mind. Is there anything that you've got coming up that is going to help you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and by that I mean just like, oh, I was so deep in making this and getting it out on time, and then, you know, there's kind of just like external pressures on just like, oh yeah, I have this trip that I'm currently on, like coming up and all this kind of stuff. So it was really just like, yeah, that all just kind of like makes you very deep into it, and it's like I've noticed with myself, like, okay, it's good to like finally take an actual step back now that it's like actually out and stuff, and to kind of like reset a little bit and like actually even revisit it in a little bit. But yeah, like I've got a lot of stuff going on. Like I'm performing with a couple bands and recording with a couple bands just in general in the VGM scene. And in particular, I'll be playing a decent amount at MagFest, the upcoming MagFest in mid-January. Yeah. Yeah, for that, like I'll be playing with Cowell, We've got a time slot there. I'll be on a panel as well to build a JRPG track.
Cool.
And then that one's gonna be fun. And then I'm planning on playing with the MagFest Community Orchestra as well. And there might be other stuff that happens. Actually, yeah, you know what? I am working with an artist that has been on bonus stage, and we're debuting that whole general project on the 31st, like literally the last day of the year, and then we're gonna have an album next year. Now I won't say who it is yet until it comes out, but yeah, it's been cool to kind of have a couple different like areas of things I'm doing. And of course, I've already started planning out like, oh, what's going to be the next album I work on? Kind of just thinking about it for fun because, yeah, you know, that's just what musicians do, right? It's like at the end of these big projects, we're just like, let's start a new project instead.
Yeah.
So
I need to overextend myself for another year.
basically. But yeah, like I've got a decent amount of random other projects going on. I've been working with game groups as well, and like I was on the Rad Lions album, playing violin for a couple people. So I'm kind of like sliding my way into little different couple places, doing all kinds of stuff and having a good time with it, you know.
Right on. Well, if people can't get what they desire from your Bandcamp in terms of updates and things like that, I will shoot your link tree in chat as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, folks, go and check out everything that Ronin's doing. Yeah, got Bandcamp, Spotify, all the music links, everything, all the latest that Jay's been working very hard on. And I just said hard on. Anyways, we're gonna end there. No. Jay, it's been really great having you back here to talk about Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
Restless Awakening.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been a long time coming, and it's like, you know, I wanted to come back here and have like something real strong to come back with. So I'm glad this was the thing, and this was the time, and to do it with you as well.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. Well, I hope we'll get you on the show again sometime in a performance capacity, because I'm really curious to see how you would perform this album. Just like, he's over here on the violin. He's over here on the piano. And the guitar and the bass. You got like a double neck or something. That's just where my mind
forgot. Goes. Yeah, that is something I got to actually think about at some point. Yeah. No, thank you for the reminder.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thank you so much, and thanks for everybody who tuned in and shared your love and your input on the album. This is the final broadcast that Bonus Stage is going to have for 2023. So Jay, it was an honor to have you here to share this with us. Man.
That's crazy to hear. Yeah,
I know. It's been a wild year. We've done a lot of stuff, and we are ramping up to do even more in 2024. And if you want to keep up with anything to do with that, go to bonusstage.ca, because we are freaking tired of social media and fighting algorithms and such. So go hit up our mailing list or something like that. We'll send you an email. How about that? We don't have to tell you to like and subscribe anything. We'll just send an email directly to your inbox.
I'm 100% with you, man. Emails are still the way to go, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll email you soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
See ya.